Okay, so we're gonna get started. So I just thanks to everybody for turning on their cameras. Um, so I just wanted to get started with this webinar, and I wanted to kick it off with a nice meditation because we came from a busy day. I brought everything home from work just because it's more comfortable for me to do webinars from home. But we're just going to get started with the meditation. And then we'll get into the webinar part. And then I'm going to teach you guys a little bit of working with the fascia and also holding space for the clients. So we are going to go through that. So I just want everybody to kind of sit back into their seats and feel both feet onto the floor. Roll the shoulders back and down. Good. Take a deep breath in. Let out an audible sigh. Good. Deep breath in. And audible sigh. Wonderful. One more breath. Deep breath in. Good. Now, I want you to take your mind to a really sweet spot, your favorite spot to be in, where you feel very safe, where you feel grounded, where you feel at ease, where you feel that joyfulness. My space is being in the forest. And then just notice the imagery around you. Notice the feeling in the air. Good. Even take note how your body feels right now and just scan the body. And then just paying attention to your inhales and exhales. Inhale, feel the belly rise. Exhale, feel the belly fall. Good. Inhale, feel the belly rise. Exhale, pull the belly button into the spine. Good. Now just staying with that rhythm of the breath. Good. And now just imagining you in your space and you have a backpack on your back and it's everything that happened before this meeting. Could be yesterday, weeks ago, whatever stress that you're carrying on your shoulders. I just want you to drop that backpack onto the ground and just let it go for a moment to get nice and grounded and land into the present moment that you're in right now. Good. And then I just want you to bring up the thought of yourself of being really empowered and being really in your space where you feel your best. And then just asking yourself what you can add into your life right now to maybe achieve that. A little bit more self-belief. Maybe letting go of the past. Whatever it is, it's your thing. And that one thing is your limiting belief system. Good. And now that we have that deep knowing that those limiting belief systems are just stories that we tell ourselves. And I like to call it the protective parts. And I want you to ask those those protective parts to stand back right now. All of those thoughts that keep you safe, that keep you small. And then I want you to see yourself what you would be like without all of those things, without all of those limiting beliefs. Notice how much brighter you look. Notice how you're carrying yourself. Noticing how your life shifts. Good. Now I just want you to bring one hand onto the heart and one hand onto the belly. And I want you just to say the opposite of your limiting belief. So for me, I'm going to go into I am deserving. Inhale to I am. Exhale to your word. Good. Inhale to I am. Exhale to your word. Good. Now I just slowly want you to open your eyes and I'm going to welcome you back into this container. Good. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to check to see if anybody else is in the waiting room. Good. And everybody is in. Perfect. Okay. So now that I'm more grounded, and I really needed to do this also for myself to get into the webinar and welcome you guys into the container, I just want you to, or I just wanted to explain my why and explain our story and explain why I put together the method that I did. So I always wanted to work on people, and here in this container, most likely we're all like heart-centered people, and we just want to come in, help people feel good. So that was like my big why. I was taking so many different trainings. I did my yoga teacher training. I taught yoga for many, many years. And then I got into a lot of different healing modalities. I practiced with those, and I just felt that I wasn't getting the clientele at all, and I wasn't making what I should have been making to take care of my son and I. And I was a single mother at that time. But once I kind of welcomed in the beauty world, I loved it because I seen so many women coming in, and there was only that one side for a really long time where they're just doing lasers, where they're just doing filler, where they're just doing all of the things that were like more invasive and changing their looks. And then I noticed we needed, at that time, it was 5, 6 years ago, we needed more of a holistic approach. And it started like within too, how my clients felt about themselves. But there's great value in having both. There's always like the medical way, which is amazing. And there's also the holistic way that is amazing. And I found that people really went from one way or the other way, and me bringing in what I was doing and me for who I was, people really trusted me. So people came in from this side to this side. And I got a whole new kind of clientele that were open into trying new things. And then I got another clientele that were like hardcore, wanting to just approach life at a natural way and aging gracefully. Um, and then from there, I put together my method. And then Justine and I got together, my business partner, and we kind of grew from there. But my method has 5 pillars to it. And I believe everything has to do with mind, body, and soul. So the five pillars that we really teach in our trainings is the embodiment aspect of it. So we would be touching base on like breath work and breath and how it comes down the nervous system. We also touch base on trauma responses because when we're putting women in a vulnerable spot, we have to know how to properly hold space for them. And that's so important for anybody who is working on people to know um, trauma informed training. So that's going to be a part of it also. Um, Another part of that pillar is that we look at Ayurvedic medicine. So the Ayurvedic medicine, there's 3 different body types. So it's really getting to know how to tell which client is walking in your door. You could be like, oh, Nancy's coming in and she's a pitta, so we got to keep her down here. And it helps you and it gives you tools on how to treat your clients. So that makes your clients connect to you even more. And you get that relationship with them and that retention, that client retention in that way. The next pillar of the training is the actual fascia release and the facial massage. So the fascia release is important because if you go into nervous system regulation, our fascia holds all of our tension in our body and all of our traumas. And not only that, for people who are not even wanting that, it holds on to all of the tissues in the body. Now we're going to the medical base of it, all of the tissues on the body. So it holds on to the muscles, the lymphatic system, and everything. So if the fascia is really, really tight, it's almost nearly impossible to be able to drain those lymph nodes. And that's what I'm going to show you a little bit about today. The next part that we are going to that we do teach in our training is the intraoral massage, which is the buccal massage. So we have a really soft approach to it. I know some massage therapists, when they come to our trainings, they're like, wow, this is a lot different than what I learned medically. But we take a really soft approach to it because women who have a lot of, or men who have a lot of tension in their jaws are holding inflammation in that area. So we really, really want to hold space for that area and create softness in that area to help loosen it up. Because sometimes people respond to fast and hard in any kind of healing journey. And then sometimes people respond to soft and slow, and steady wins the race. So I really take that approach. And then we learn cupping. So cupping is huge because after we're doing the massage and after we're really getting into the massage, we have that part that really helps with like blood flow, and it helps with like taming down inflammation, and it boosts the collagen. And with all of that moving in that area really helps heal the muscles. But the sweet part about the cupping part is it almost works as like microneedling, because it makes tiny micro wounds into the skin, and then that gets the collagen going and boosted. The next part is the gua sha, and I believe all of these parts are important to put it together because it each has its own reasoning behind it. But the gua sha is so good because we're already doing so much lymphatic drainage, but the little bit of lymphatic drainage that is left over in any area of the face or the neck is drained and released. I notice with my clients, you do notice an immediate result, but I do notice that they'll call me in 2 days and they'll be like, my face is getting slimmer. It's because the inflammation is going down a little bit more and the muscles are softening a little bit more as you did all your work, or as I did all my work. And then they'll notice that their face is completely drained within 2 days. So the reason why we created an avatar for 3 types of people of doing this. So for massage therapists and for medical estheticians who are not really in the holistic side yet, and then just the regular woman like me who just wanted to like really work on people and help people. So for the massage therapist, it's really great because your body gets so sore from working on people all day long. And I can only work on 3 people per day. My or my people who work for me can massage up to 5 to 6 people a day, but I hold energetic space also. But the massage therapists that work for us, they're like, I could do these all day long because it's so much easier on their body than doing the full body massage. And unfortunately, when you're doing the body massage, you're making like $100 per treatment because everybody is a massage therapist. Everybody did their training. But something so special about our training is that you niched out into working into the facial massage, and it attracts a whole new world of clients. And now for the medical esthetician. So it's really great to have 2 types of clientele. You know, there's the people who are like want to come in and get the lasers and get the all the work done, the peels and stuff like that. But there's also that other group of people that you're not able to touch because they're like, I need soft and slow, and they get really triggered easily, or they don't do well with downtime very easily, like myself. I'm the kind of person who sends a picture to Justine a million times after a procedure. But so it brings in kind of both worlds into your practice. And it's nice to have the medical and the holistic way in your practice. And then the people like me, the people who just wanted to help people, and they have that deeper knowing that they have that behind them of just wanting to take care of people and nurture people. And they have that great part of them that's the nurturer. But this honestly has changed my life because, in all honesty, my friends who have seen me from before, um, they're like, wow, I can't believe the way that you're killing it. And of course, there's a lot of hard work I had to put into it, and doing one step forward each time of each learning lesson. But I never imagined that I would be able to take care of myself and take care of my son the way that I am on my own. So it's really sweet to have that little niche that not very many people have, you know? Um, but yeah, and this is so good for you too, for like your mind and your body and your soul, because when you're in treatment, all of my students, you'll see, and if you do take our training, we have a Facebook group with over 200 women in there. And they're like, the way that they energetically connect to their clients and the way that they feel after the massage, it's like they also did like a huge grounding on themselves too. And literally, I could walk into work, and if I have a good day with like no business stuff, I like walk out of there floating on top of a cloud. Like I feel like I didn't work a day in my life, an hour in my life that day. So it's really good for the mind. It's really, really good on the body. I have been doing it for 5 years now. I don't have any carpal tunnel problems. I do work out, I do yoga, and I do take care of myself, of course. That's what you have to do. But I don't have any aches and pains from doing the treatment. And then, like, for my soul, I just feel like I'm in my purpose and I'm giving back to people. And my true thing, that my purpose in life is that I want to teach people how to love. So I started that working one woman at a time on my table. And then a bunch of people reached out to me. Can you teach me how you do this? So I made a training. And that's what I'm like out here to do, is just teach you guys to teach people how to love, because we all need a little bit more love in the world. Um, But I wanted to take a moment to teach you guys a really sweet trick. And maybe you know about this and maybe you don't, but I wanted to work on Justine for a moment and show you a few different techniques. But we're going to go from there. So, what I'm going to show is I'm going to show me putting her into her body because as soon as the client lays on your table, and if they're in a trauma response or if they're in any kind of like stress, they're not going to they're not going to relax on your table. It's going to be nearly impossible. And then it also helps like relax the muscles, so it makes your job easier for you. And then I'm going to show the fascia stretch around the neck and how to open the lymph nodes in the neck area. And then we'll come back and we'll finish up our webinar. And then I'll talk to you guys about how to get certified, like how we go about it, and like tips and tricks for you to make more money while you're getting certified. And then I'm going to do some questions and answers. So I'm just going to flip the computer around. Justine's going to hop on the bed. I'm just going to give her a minute to hop on the bed and get undressed. And then put the blanket over her. And thank you guys so much for being here. Good. So I'm just going to turn it around the table or the computer and make sure we could see. Perfect. Can everybody see? Can everybody give me a heart? Thank you. Okay. Perfect. So I always start on my client. I'm just going to pull her straps down. So I always start on my client and just putting some weight on just right beside the underarms here, because this is a huge grounding spot for people. We hold a lot of tension there, especially women. So I just want to hold my hands on that spot, and then taking a deep breath in, audible sigh. Good, deep breath in. One more time. And then I just push down on their shoulders just to kind of create some movement in the body, because movement always lets tension out of the body. Good. And then I take my hands, place them just like this, right onto the center of the chest. And then I'll do little small circles, pushing in with my fingers. So it's going to look like this. And that's just a really good reflexology pressure point just for relaxation. So I'm just going to get her into her. We'll start with box breathing. I always use a different breath on different body types. So inhale for the count of 4. Hold it for 4. And then when you're ready, exhale for 4. Inhale for 4. And exhale. And then just finding that rhythm for yourself. And I always watch my client's body to make sure their bellies are moving up and down, making sure they're breathing. Good. And once they get into that breath, I'll take my top hand and I'll just place it onto the space in between her eyebrows. Another sweet pressure point for grounding. Good. And then I'll just get her to breathe, and her and I will breathe together. Good. And then I bring her into a space, just like I did with you guys, and really getting into a visual aspect with them. So I just want her to bring herself into her safe space, because you always want your clients to feel safe with you. And then I'll do a body scan with them just so they fully feel out their whole body. So just inhale, bring your awareness into your toes. Exhale, let the toes go. Inhale, allow the table to support the backs of the legs. And exhale, letting go of your pelvic floor, letting go of your sit bones, letting go of your spine. Good. Breathe into your shoulders, pull up all the tension into your shoulders. Exhale, let it go. Good. Relax the eyebrows. Relax the jaw. Let the arms be heavy. Letting go of the fingertips. Just allowing yourself to surrender here. Okay, now that Justine is nice and soft in the body and she's really grounded down onto the table, I'm going to go into a fascia release. So I just take their head and I take it to the side. So the lymph nodes are right in this area here. So we really want to soften up that area because that's the major draining point. And that's where you really want to do the work, because if anything's blocked in here, nothing is going to come out of the face. So I'm just going to get up and come around. So I'm going to do the same thing. So pumping motions down the neck. Just to wake up those lymph nodes. Good. And then I'm going to take right where her clavicle bone is, and I'm going to pull downwards. And I'm just going to pump 3 times. Good. And then I'm going to take my bottom hand down to her clavicle bone, use the heel of my hand, push up onto her ear, and give her a nice stretch to stretch out that fascia. Good. And then pump down towards the underarms to open up those lymph nodes. And then we're just going to repeat on the opposite side. So Justine's fascia is actually really tight because she has me as a business partner. Just kidding. Good. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on each side, because remember, what you do to one side of the body, you always have to do the other side of the body. Good. And this is really nice for you to use, even if you're an esthetician, to do this in your workroom. And then we're just going to do one more movement for the release of the lymph nodes. So we're just going to pump softly towards the underarms. So this isn't just it that I do for the fascia release. This is just one of the parts. we also touch base on myofascial release too. And then underneath, so you want to get right underneath the jawbone through here. So just pumping through. And you're just going like this. Yeah. Beautiful. So that's all I'm going to show you for today. And then we're going to hop back. I'm going to switch this around again. So we're going to hop back and then talk about the training. And so I've been having my cue cards because I want to be very organized. Okay, so how to get certified. So when you join our in-person training, my expectations from you, so you have that practice, is that I want you to work on 10 models after the training. And then I want you to send me 10 before and after photos. Once I receive that and we go through that, you will be certified and have the Ju-ene method under your belt. But when you're doing that, what I want you to do is those 10 models that you do, I want you to hold value in yourself. So I want you to charge at least half price, or 75% of the price, and then use that money to put back into the investment that you made into the training. Another thing that I want you to do is ask people to give referrals, ask people to kind of spread the word about yourself. And with that, use the photos or make videos out of those models because they're not paying the full price, and post that on the Instagram. And soon as on your Instagram, and as soon as as soon as people see it, they're like, oh man, I want to try that. Like, it doesn't matter who we hire in the spa, they get busy because it's such an amazing treatment to have and to get done and to do on people. So the investment in the in-person training, we're having one in Edmonton, we're having one in Vancouver, and then we're having one in Toronto in August. The Edmonton and Vancouver training are coming up really soon. The investment is $2,888. I had to keep the 888s together. But that's the investment to come to the Vancouver training. And then I was just wondering if you guys want to ask any questions, please ask. You could take off your mutes if you want, your mute buttons. And is there any questions? Because I'm here to answer anything from you guys. Going, going, going. Okay, Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hi. I'm back here because last time I couldn't get my answers, get what I wanted.
I remember your picture. Last time was a master disaster for the webinar.
So today already I kind of get a feel of what it is that
Yeah.
so when you said breath work, trauma response, facial fascia release, buccal massage, cupping, and gua sha, do you do all of that in one service?
Yeah. Yeah. And that takes about like an hour. You could take an hour and a half if you want.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then as for the training, it
Hmm.
is a two day training in Vancouver,
Yeah.
and it's like the full day, 2 full days.
Yeah. It's 2 full days. So it's from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. And we'll be there working on each other because it's really important for me to teach 4 different styles. It's important to teach how it feels, so you getting it done, and how it feels for you to do it.
Mm.
the tactile, and then also like hearing and watching. So I like to hit all of the senses of doing the actual treatment.
So what is the difference between the online course and the in-person course? Is the curriculum the same?
The curriculum is somewhat the same. The big difference is you're not able to have that in-person touch to know if you're doing the actual movement right or wrong.
Okay.
And then another part is we go a little bit deeper into the manual working together as a container. Um, it's either or, they're both amazing. It's just depending on who you are, how you learn,
Mhm.
and what's best for you financially.
So with the in-person one, sounds great, but then the online one, you
Mhm.
you get to keep the videos and the workbook and all that. So in
Yeah.
the in-person one, will there be videos for us to review?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. So we have a Facebook group that there's 200 ladies in there that I have trained so far. The manual is in there and video is in there. And then if you are a student, like a in-person student, you're allowed into that Facebook group. And I do hold space. So I give you my extra time. So if you're struggling in any way, we'll get on like a Zoom call, or I'm getting better at Zoom, or like a FaceTime call, and we could talk and I could walk you through and see what you're doing on clients or where you feel uncomfortable. Or there's that ability to talk with 200 other ladies who have taken my training. And there's so many great um, information. Like I even learned a lot from the ladies by the questions that they asked over the last 3 years, because I want to hold space for my students. So I had to like go back, learn some things, get better. So there's all of that growth on there with all of the ladies.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's a really good question, Kim.
thank you.
Thank you for that. Do
Thank you
you
for
have any more? Oh, okay. Um, does anybody else have a question? Don't be shy. No? Perfect. Okay, well, I want to thank you guys so much for your time. Oh, I want to just check the chats. Okay, there is nothing in the chats. So I just want to say goodbye to you guys and thank you so much for your time. And I hope to see you in the Vancouver training. Okay, bye.